Good afternoon, everyone. This is Megan Parks Van Horn, your IEF here at Stockbridge High School. I am here to pretty much present our presentation of our learning lab that we did on yesterday. It was on our opening. The first thing that I want to do before get started on the presentation is to have you sign in to this online presentation by scanning the QR code. So take a moment to do that for me right now. Thank you. So we're going to move on to the next slide. And this is what we believe here at Stockbridge High School. As you can see, this is our purpose statement, our vision statement, and our mission statement. Our purpose is to definitely foster students' growth academically, socially, and emotionally by leveraging a system of continuous improvement in faculty and staff practices. Student growth is necessary for students to thrive in ways that will ensure they will make valuable contributions to the global society. As a result, Stockbridge High School improves student outcomes and experiences by committing time, human resources, finances, and emotional energy. So specifically, this presentation will be about improving student outcomes by providing an effective opening. Our vision here at Stockbridge High School is to advance everything through STEAM, which is that science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And we want to make sure that everything we do is purpose-driven. Lastly, our mission is to be safe, forward-thinking, and connected to a diverse group of faculty, staff, and students by leveraging the access and opportunities of a high-quality STEAM environment. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it and get started. Now, the first thing Dr. Thornton went over in the session yesterday was to kind of address what was going on with lesson plans. He had some feedback from some teachers, and he wanted to clarify a few things. So what I'm going to do for this presentation is just focus on the opening to explain what he explained yesterday to teachers. And one of the things he explained was, if you can see here in this visual, how if we were doing an opening here, most people thought that they had to answer every single one of these questions. No, you do not. You are going to choose one of these questions to answer and just describe what you're doing in a simple sentence or two in that box. That's it. Do not try to answer every single one of these questions. He just wants to know, how will you secure the foundation? Any one of these options will do. Same thing as you go through the other areas. How will you explain what the students need to know? Is it through a bell ringer? Is it through a pre-assessment? Is it a remediation of a CFA? What is it? But it doesn't have to be all those things, only one. All right, and that's literally all he explained with the lesson plans. We will be doing a short video to show you how to wrap text, which will probably be a 30-second video because it's just one button. And that's pretty much it for the quick check-in with lesson plans. Alrighty, and moving to the next slide. So I'm going to play a video, and I want you to reflect watching this video. It's from one of my favorite movies, Sister Act 2. On why is it essential to have a lesson plan and an effective opening? Just by watching what happens with Sister Mary Clarence. And here we go.
That's why your mama DJs for the ice cream truck.
It's you. Thank heaven you're here. Class, this is your new teacher, Sister Mary Clarence. Class.
Your mama is so fat she sat on a rainbow and Skittles popped out.
Class. Well, congratulations. You're the new mayor of Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's why your mother's so fat. She's on both sides of the face.
Keep the faith, sister. Just keep the faith. Remember, our Lord said, oh, be strong of will. And ye better be tough as nails, too. like to introduce myself. Would you all put your seats back in order, please? I have this funny problem with my ears. I don't like a lot of noise, so maybe you could do it quietly. Thank you so much. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sister Mary Clarence, and I am...
Your mama?
No, sir. Let's talk about your mama, who's so dumb she got hit by a parked car. Thank you. Let's try attendance.
I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Tyler Chase, and on behalf of the whole music class as we are,
Tyler,
I'd
Tyler,
like
you got a little something in your nose. Yeah, Tyler, big brown thing right around here. Hello, I'm Tyler.
Thank you, Mr. Chase. Richard Pensham.
Paper plastic.
I beg your pardon? Are you Richard?
Yes.
You do this?
Yes. Sorry. That's why they call me Sketch. I do sketches. Sorry.
It's real good.
Thanks.
Try to stay awake in my class, though.
All right.
All right. Wesley James. Wesley Glenn James.
Respectfully, my sister, James is the slave name forced upon my ancestors, while Wesley, that's some name my assimilationist parents came up with. But today, in honor of all my brothers and sisters who died in the struggle, I wish to be called by my true name, Amal Unjomo Jameya, which means he who is spirited.
And long-winded.
yes, the president would have done it, bro.
And who are you?
Frank K. Check it out. Hello there, miss, and let me kick an introduction. Flute, violin, bass, guitar, and percussion. It seems you are a sister.
Stop. Can't you come up with your own thing? Or must you continually come behind my people and steal our expressions? First jazz, then rock and roll, now rap. What you gonna try to take next,
I'm
man?
gonna take your girl if you ain't careful.
Keep talking there, boy.
Let's leave this display of manhood outside, shall we? Thank you so much.
Yo, could we hurry this up? Some of us got things to do. You know what I'm saying? Goodness.
Are you Rita Watson?
Yeah, that's me. And I'm sorry I don't have any cute stories or anecdotes to tell you. Come on, shut up. Mind your business.
Well, how about we just call you Rita, diva with a tube?
Hey, sister, maybe I can help you out. Are we all here? Yeah. We're here.
Thank you. All right. What have you been doing? All right, let me give you an easier question. Where are the music books? Oh.
Maybe I should explain something to you, sister. See, this is what we call a bird course. Now, the reason we call it a bird course is because we fly right through it. See, all you got to do to pass in this class is show up.
So you come to class, you do nothing, and you pass.
Oh, no, we don't exactly do nothing. We have a good time, too. Yo, thank you.
So, watching that scene, go back and reflect. Why is it essential to have a lesson plan and an effective opening? Yeah, okay. So hopefully you thought about it. As you can see, Sister Mary Clarence did not have a plan when she walked in the room. So what did the kids do? They went right back to doing what they did before. Because she didn't walk in, she didn't really catch their attention when she did talk to them. So her opening was absolutely terrible. And it wasn't focused on what she specifically wanted the kids to do. So they went back to doing what they normally do, which was razz on each other. So let's let you not be a Sister Mary Clarence. Let's see how we can help you make an effective opening. So this presentation is about the opening and setting that foundation for your students. So before we dig way deep into it, what we're going to do is kind of just go over how these learning labs will go over first semester. The first month, this month, we're talking about the opening. We're just focusing on you having a tight opening at the beginning of class. So next week, admin will start to come into your room and we will actually look to see how effective and how tight is your opening. Are you going to go over the standard? Are you addressing any misconceptions? Are you doing a pre-assessment? Are you doing a hook and bringing kids in? We're just looking at that opening. Then the next part, which will happen in September, will be our work session. We'll focus on that I do, you do, we do. That makes up that work session. Then in October, we'll focus on just your closing. What are you doing to close out your activities for the day? And then in November, we're going to do a staff reflection and we're going to actually acknowledge those teachers who did a wonderful job with their openings, their work sessions, and those closings. All right, so let's jump into it. And these are examples of securing the foundation and setting the purpose. It's also what we call enter, which is your opening. So we're entering into learning. All right, so we're actually securing a foundation. Now, what I'm about to go over will be specifically for CFA or EOC courses. But you also, if you don't teach one of those courses, you still can also do a reflective question for your students. I suggest that your opening only be between 8 and 10 minutes so you can maximize the rest of your time for deeper application of learning. So in this slide, you can see what the teacher is doing and what the student is doing. As a teacher, when you do your opening, you're actually activating any prior knowledge the student may have about a topic. You might review or you might provide feedback to students about their performance that they actually demonstrated maybe the day before on a formative assessment. And you're going to make sure you let that student know how they perform based on the criteria that's actually established. So if it is a CFA or EOC based question, you can actually have that kid evaluate, hey, would I be a beginning, proficient, distinguished, or learner, pretty much those learning skills. So you can actually have the kids analyze themselves and see where they fall. But you definitely want to make sure that you are providing feedback with whatever EOC or CFA based question that you might put up for your opening. With the student is going to actually reflect on their own performance and connect their next steps to learning in that moment. So they'll be able to say, hey, I really do know about Thomas Paine and common sense. If I had a question up there and I know that's what we went over the day before, that will make the student feel more confident. Hey, I am learning and I do know something. And it'll let you know as a teacher, hey, my kids got it. And what this actually looks like in real time, it could be a problem of the day. So if I click here, what I actually pop up is an EOC based question, and it's on another tab, but hopefully it'll pop up. And if you can kind of see that in my window here, this is just an example of an EOC based question. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I will try to see if I can switch my video to that tab. But pretty much it could be that problem of the day that comes from the district. It could be you reviewing a CFA, which stands for Common Formative Assessment. It could be a ticket out the door that you used for the previous day, because I have seen teachers use ticket out the door to actually separate kids into groups for learning the next day. It could be a ticket in the door where you might ask them a general question about the topic that you learned. It could be you reviewing some classwork, homework from the previous day. It could be reinforcing some prior learning with a video, or it could be anything that may address or correct misconceptions students have about content. All right, another part of the opening is setting that purpose, right? You want to make sure that you are explaining why it's important for the child to learn your information or your topic. And the best way to do that is to actually hook them into a real world connection or experience. So just like at the beginning of this presentation, I showed you guys a clip from Sister Act 2. That was kind of trying to make it not having an opening or not having a lesson plan ready real for us and to something that we connect to, like a movie, a film that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have seen already, but they may not have looked at it in that context. But I tried to bring that into that context to hook everybody in. Like, hey, that's what could happen to you if you don't walk into the room with the plan. And so that was my way of hooking you guys into what I'm talking about. So it's the same way that you would do with the students. You would use something of using the audience and looking at the kids in your room to bring them to the level or scaffold them up or down to the level of the content that you're teaching. So you're going to actually use whatever you can to create an interest. And that means you have to build a relationship with your kids and know what kind of things they're into and what they're not into. You also want to make sure that you're applying what you're hooking them into to the learning and making those real world connections for them. And that you are building on their knowledge that they already have by previewing content and intentionally addressing that content and vocabulary and any known misconceptions that may come with your topic. The students in this instance will be able to engage in activating any prior knowledge that they have about the topic and building on to whatever they know with new knowledge. What this looks like in real life: providing an overview of key concepts of learning, introducing daily learning targets. You may identify and scaffold difficult learning. You may establish some success criteria. You may address both academic and social language found in concept or the content. You may use a visual tool to organize learning and thinking. So whatever you're doing in that stage, you're setting a purpose for what you're doing and why is this important. And the best way to do that is to hook the kids by bringing it down to their level and something they're interested in and showing them how it applies to their lives. All right, and now I'm going to give you a little task for you to do to see kind of where your thinking is as far as your opening. And you're going to get a random number. You can get a 1, a 2, or a 3. Depending on what number you're going to get, that's the group of students you will actually create an effective opening using specifically a hook. And it has to hook one of these 3 audiences. So let's go through the 3 different groups. First group is from Bayside High, Saved by the Bell. So you got a class made up of preppy students that include jocks, cheerleaders, and a few nerds. The second group, if you get number 2, is from Claremont High School. This group is from that movie, Dangerous Minds. These students are mostly African American and Latino teenagers from Palo Alto, and it's a racially segregated neighborhood that's economically deprived. The third group is a group of students from Shermer High School, that fictional high school from The Breakfast Club. And these kids have little in common. Like you have Claire that's a princess, you have Andrew who's an athlete, you have John who's a criminal, Brian who's a brain, and Allison who's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So you got a mixed bag there in group number 3. So depending on what group number you get, I want you to actually prepare opening. So what we did was we split into 3 different groups, but you of course are watching this video individually. So what will happen is that you will get a number randomly, and that number you're going to actually make sure you tailor your opening to that group of students. And then I'm also going to randomly give you a topic. And then that topic is going to also be, listed. You're going to work with that topic and you're going to work with those group of kids. And then I'm going to give you a mock lesson plan. And what you're going to do is create an opening for those group of students using that topic. And the standard will be listed out for you there on the sheet as well. So whatever group number you get, look for that topic and look for that standard at the bottom of the Excel sheet. And you will complete that activity. And make sure you write an effective opening that will hook your group of students. After you do that, I want you to reflect. Did your opening actually reflect the audience in the room to hook them into the lesson? Why or why not? Did your opening meet one of the required elements of the lesson plan? If it's yes for that, you're on the right path. If it's no, you might need to do a little bit of following up. But for the most part, I hope that your answer will be yes to both. And in order for you to get credit for participating in this presentation, you definitely have to complete the task. So I will repeat the instructions one more time. Number 1, you're going to get a number. It's going to be 1, 2, or 3. That will match with the groups of students that are on the slide. So if you need to take a picture of the slide so you know what group of students and their characteristics, take a picture of the slide right now. Okay, so you got your picture. Now you're going to get a topic. Once you get that topic, you look for that topic standard at the bottom of the Excel sheet, and it will give you that standard. From there, you're going to actually just briefly just write out an opening as if you were teaching one of those 3 groups. And it's in the column which group you are, 1, 2, and 3. So after you do that and you submit that, you will be counted present for this professional development, and you'll be ready to rock and roll, and hopefully do an awesome opening for us when we come through for walkthroughs beginning next week. All right. And lastly, I would like you to scan this survey. Just give us your feedback. See if this presentation sufficed enough for you to know what you're expected to do with your opening. And just give us a little bit of feedback. I'm Megan Parks Van Horn, your IEF, and it's been a pleasure serving you today.